Radiant team ban.
Alright, so we are up in Game 3 of the Defense Round 2 Winners Bracket series between Virtus Pro and Team Empire. It is tied up 1-1. The next game will be decisive. I am Vikrmont. This is the defense tournament run by Join Dota. Pretty cool organization, joindota.com. Primarily commented on by Tobywan, so you can check out their live stream. Also, you can check out buying the tournament ticket through Dota, the Dota store. At any rate, so I'm very, very excited about this game. When we went into this series, I think the general odds-making favorite was that Empire would either win 2-0 or maybe VP would snatch a game from in some respect, but Empire would still win 2-1. And I still think that going into Game 3, Empire has a slight advantage, maybe like a 60-40 advantage, but VP have definitely put up a really, really impressive fight, seizing the first game convincingly, and in the second game, you know, almost coming back from a substantial deficit to Team Empire's anti-mage. So if you're Empire, you have to be playing scared a bit. This is a team that you usually dominate, but you just don't feel quite as confident anymore fighting against them. And if you're VP, you have to be riding high. So we will see what strategies these teams actually deploy in this Game 3, this decisive game, which will send one team down to the loser's bracket to play against For Friends Trilly, and the other team will play the winner of Fnatic EG, which should be tomorrow or the day after. I think it might be Sunday. Also an interesting game series that I think I might cast. We'll see. Alright, so VP with the first pick, banning out Magnus, Nyx Assassin. These are fairly typical bans. Empire, meanwhile, once again banning out one of those specialty Funnic heroes. They take out the Darkseer and they take out the Lone Druid. Virtus Pro seizes the Batrider. This is one of those extremely rare instances where Batrider isn't actually banned in the first ban phase. And when I say rare, I do mean rare. It is rare that people don't ban this. And Empire, they have stated their intent. They are going to go back to the Team Empire style Dota that we know, that we love, with this Wisp Chaos Knight combo. I think they went to that second game, they were able to win out the slow game, and they sort of said, okay, we have confirmed to ourselves, to a degree that we are satisfied with, that we are the stronger team in a straight-up engagement. Let's assume that the first game was a fluke, and do it our way. Let's not sort of get out of our comfort zone any more than we already are. Let's just do it correctly and execute and win. And so you see them, they get the Keeper of the Light, so this is the first game in which, in this series in which Virtus Pro has not been able to secure that Keeper of the Light because they used the first pick on Batrider. And Empire take up the Keeper of the Light, as well as this Wisp, most likely going to see Funnic paired up with this Chaos Knight. They're going to do the pure Empire with the Funnic on the Wisp and the Chaos Knight on the, Blow Your Brain on the Chaos Knight. And they're going to seek to overwhelm Virtus Pro in the early to mid game with the strength of this combo. We do see them banning out the Bane Elemental, so with this Bane ban, they're sort of targeting what Virtus Pro used to somewhat counter them in the last game. The Bane managed to land some extremely strong ultimates against, I think, the Puck several times. Bane is also strong against Lifestealer. If you end up doing something like a Lifestealer-Chaos Knight pair, then the Bane is quite strong against Lifestealer because he's able to disable and he's able to enfeeble through magic immunity. And consequently, that's sort of the reason for that ban. Meanwhile, Virtus Pro actually, once again, we see an Outworld Devourer ban, which is interesting. This is a hero that we don't see that often, but in this game, I think both teams are sort of thinking that the other team may deploy him as a sort of surprise pick, either in the middle or up in a side lane to sort of win. And then they take out the Queen of Pain, so one of the heroes that Scandal plays so well. They sort of pinning down this sort of mid-roll. Now, the disadvantage of trying to pin down the mid is that Empire can always run dual mid with the Chaos Knight and the Wisp, or with the Chaos Knight and another support. So that's the danger of over-targeting the mid-roll for bans, is that maybe all your bans end up wasted because the other team chooses and didn't really plan to put one of those heroes in the mid anyway. Empire, meanwhile, they do take out the Templar Assassin, so even though this is one of Scandal's specialty heroes, they actually pick it off, so they don't want to see Virtus Pro pick it up. Keep in mind that because Virtus Pro had first pick in the draft, they actually will have first pick after this ban series as well, so the final 4 picks will be Virtus Pro, Empire, Virtus Pro, Empire. This gives, again, the last pick gives you the opportunity to sort of do a spoiler pick that completely changes the character of a draft, but in this case, I expect Empire to mostly come up with fairly predictable picks just to fill out their strategy, since there's not really that much of a surprise with what Empire are doing. What they're going to do is win with the Chaos Knight Wisp combo. About the only surprising thing I would see is maybe if they come up with like a PL or something and they end up it being sort of a screening. You can use your Chaos Knight Wisp as a screening effect, where you have a hard carry backup that collects farms slowly while the Chaos Knight Wisp terrorize the enemy. So you can take a lot of map control. You can make sure that the enemy spends all of their time trying to counteract the Chaos Knight Wisp, and all the time there's this ticking time bomb of your other carry in the background. Now that can be any sort of carry. You can do that on Lifestealer, you can in the solo safe, you can do it on Phantom Lancer, but that's certainly something that Empire could deploy that would be a little more surprising than them just picking up like a mid and a support and just having at it. Virtus Pro, meanwhile, I haven't talked about their picks. They actually are taking a lot of time deciding the last band. They actually take up Bounty Hunter. So another hero that would sort of make it much easier for Empire to ramp up their killing potential, just in the sense that he does pretty good burst damage even if he hasn't gotten that much farm. He offers a very good solo lane option, and if he travels around with the Wisp and the Chaos Knight getting kills, the time it takes Empire to just roll over you will be shortened dramatically, and it's all because of that Track ultimate. We've talked about it on the stream multiple times before, but Track is just, it's a very consequential ability because every kill that you get on somebody that's tracked provides your entire team with more gold, and so you can seize that early to mid-game advantage that we talk so much about Empire always seeking to secure. That we talk about these CIS teams that want to go balls to the wall aggression. They want to be rewarded for that. They want to be rewarded for the fact that they're being aggressive and getting kills. And one way to do that is to make sure that each kill is worth twice as much for you than it is for your opponents. And the Bounty Hunter is how you do that. So that's why you sort of see Virtus Pro deciding to actually take out that Bounty Hunter. They do think that they won't be able to fully shut down the Chaos Knight Wisp, so they want to make sure that when the Chaos Knight and Wisp are hunting, they're not also able to get more gold for their trouble. So for the fourth pick, they actually take Nature's Prophet, another hero that we rarely see anybody but these sort of wacky Russian teams picking up these days. There used to be a time in which Nature's Prophet ruled the roost, so to speak, just in the sense that his pushing ability was highly prized by teams. But in this case, Virtus Pro are not taking Nature's Prophet for his pushing. What they're taking him for is global presence. If, say, Gyrocopter and Undying are out past the Tier 1 Radiant Tower, and Chaos Knight and Wisp jump on them with the aid of another hero, that's a situation that the Gyrocopter and Undying will probably die unless they get a little bit more help. But if they did get a little bit more help, maybe they could turn it around. Nature's Prophet lets you do that because he has this teleportation, his ability to get to any point in the map. If he's gotten a decent amount of farm already, if he has decent items, and Nature's Prophet is famous for his ability to get decent items, and if you don't know about that, you should look up loads of money. But at any rate, Nature's Prophet is able to amass items and really amass value to your team if he gets a pretty decent start. Consequently, you can jump the Nature's Prophet in on top of the Wisp and Chaos Knight when they're attacking your, say, Gyrocopter, and hopefully turn it around, lock down the Chaos Knight with a Sprout or something so he can't get to your hero. He actually still has Reality Rift, so Sprout is pretty weak against Chaos Knight. But you do have that ability to get that just that extra edge wherever you are because of the Nature's Prophet's ability to teleport. Against global presence, against a team that has global presence, like they can Wisp relocate anywhere, it's good to have your own global presence. Now, the flip side of this is it's very, very difficult to do pushing as a Nature's Prophet, which is his primary calling in life other than farming. But his primary calling in life that actually helps you win is pushing. And it's very, very, very difficult as a Nature's Prophet to get any pushing done against a Wisp Chaos Knight team. Because the instant they see you teleport in with this Nature's Prophet, they teleport the Chaos Knight Wisp on top of you. And everything that I said about a Nature's Prophet being able to help like a 1 vs 2 turn into a balanced fight goes the opposite and also double for him going from 1 vs 0 to 1 vs 2, right? The Chaos Knight Wisp will tear him apart if they jump in on top of him. So definitely something that Virtus Pro are going to have to be careful with. They raise the stakes a little bit with this pickup of the Nature's Prophet. They have to make sure that the execution on this Nature's Prophet is very, very good. The other interesting thing to think about is what their lanes are actually going to be. They will have to, if they choose to run anything in the hard lane, they will. So they have a couple options. I think if they run an aggressive tri-lane, which is a possibility because Gyrocopter is good in an aggressive tri-lane as far as carries go. Undying is very good in a tri-lane versus tri-lane situation because he's got this big AoE on his Decay that he can keep using. And Rubik is pretty good in a tri-lane versus tri-lane too. They have the option of going an aggressive tri-lane with this Undying, Gyrocopter, Rubik. Or they have the option of going a safe tri-lane. If they go a safe tri-lane, then they really don't have a strong solo lane option. Nature's Prophet is sometimes run as a solo hard lane, but it's very, very dangerous. Again, you get into a lot of trouble, and you really have to make sure your execution is pitch perfect. Plus, your XP is just not going to get that quick development. Empire pick up the Clinks, so we're actually not going to see Funnick on the Wisp. We'll see him on the Clinks. And, oh, actually, wow, Scandal on the Clinks. Interesting. So, Empire going for pure Empire play. Pure, we will pick off your heroes play. And this Clinks could be very, very scary because Nature's Prophet can fold to a Clinks extremely quickly. You can see that his base health isn't that great. His strength gain is very bad. It's 1.8 per level. And so this Clinkz, once he gets Orchid, if he's able to get Orchid Malevolence in a timely fashion, it's going to be very, very, very dangerous for him to roam around, silence the Nature's Prophet so he can't teleport away, and kill him extremely quickly. Doubly so if they then add the Wisp and Chaos Knight on top of that. So the problem for Virtus Pro here is that they've got a lot of heroes that can die very, very quickly. And I'm really not sure about this Nature's Prophet pick, just in the sense that Empire already like playing Clinkz. This is one of their favorite heroes. We've even seen some teams first ban Clinkz against Empire. So playing a hero like Nature's Prophet, almost walking into the Clinkz pick, it's dangerous, honestly. It's a dangerous choice for them, and it could pay off, but they could also get blown out, and Empire could take the series right from there. Nice thing for VP, they do have who I think is probably the best hero in the game. They've got this Batrider. Batrider does not lose mid. There's not a hero that actually has a favored mid matchup against Batrider. And, he's just really good. In public games, he actually does not have the highest win rate, just because he's a pretty high skill cap hero. People have difficulty understanding how he works, but in the pro games, whenever Batrider is not banned, he has a commanding presence, and you have to do a lot to deal with him. There was a statistical study, I guess not really a statistical study, but there was a frequency study done of the G League, which was the last big Asian tournament, and Batrider essentially was one of the most banned heroes, and when he wasn't banned, he had something like a 78% win rate. So he would either be banned or he would win, essentially, was what happened there. And consequently, that just really, really is compelling. If a hero always wins when he's not banned, you basically always need to ban him. And the only other hero in the game currently who's like that for every team that plays him is Nyx Assassin. Nyx Assassin is a very popular, very strong hero also. And so you see Nyx Assassin copying a lot of first bans, sort of the way you see Batrider copying them. And I said that VP might go for the aggressive tri-lane, which they have. The reason I didn't quite finish my thought there, basically Nature's Prophet cannot do a solo hard lane, but what he can, well he can, but it's not going to work against Chaos Knight Wisp. But what he can do is a solo safe lane. So Nature's Prophet is fine against Windrunner. He will be able to get some farm here, and Santa will do okay. He's a little endangered just because this Windrunner does have his DD rune, but this will expire shortly. How's the farm going here? Actually, Nature's Prophet, I think he got to the lane late or something, but he's way behind already. He's a full level behind. That's kind of unfortunate for him. But this Nature's Prophet is going to develop without too much danger until the Clinkz starts roaming. So Empire going for a very non-traditional lineup in the sense that Clinkz, you expect Clinkz. Like Empire does go Clinkz a lot, but Clinkz mid is fairly unusual for them. We've seen him solo safe, we've seen him solo long, and actually this Clinkz is dominating this Batrider mid so far, so this is quite interesting. Scandal actually, oh, they've pooled quite a bit of gold on him, so you can see he started with Tangos, and a Healing Salve, and a Wraith Band, and 2 Iron Branches. And if this seems like too much money, like it cost him too much money to make this, it's because it did. What Empire did, and this is extremely smart, is they pooled their gold onto Scandal to give him an early advantage against this Batrider. So you know I said Batrider basically beats anything. Their idea is, well, does Batrider beat a Clinkz that starts out with double his normal gold? We think not. So actually, he can do, because of Clinkz's great range and this ability to Searing Arrows, he can do a lot of counter harassment on this Batrider to the point where this Batrider is actually in a lot of danger. Good, actually excellent work there. He manages to firebomb the Clinkz back into the tower, so he takes some damage, and Clinkz was forced to skeleton walk just to survive through the tower damage, which would otherwise have killed him. So a very intense matchup going on in the middle here. It's good to know that Clinkz is actually down in terms of he has fewer last hits. He only has 4 last hits to Batrider's 9. So even this great matchup with the pooling gold and the Clinkz is not quite enough to beat your Batriders of the world with normal amounts of gold. But nonetheless, Clinkz doing well for himself relatively, and Windrunner definitely dominating this bottom lane completely. Windrunner is a good solo lane hero versus Nature's Prophet, who's just not that great of a solo lane hero. So you do see the Windrunner actually locking down this lane. 12 last hits and 11 denies. Actually, this Nature's Prophet, I said that he'd be okay in the solo lane, but he's really getting punished quite a bit by this Windrunner. He only has 4 last hits, so he's able to get some levels, but you can see 3 to 4 already. Meanwhile, the tri-lane versus tri-lane situation up here is essentially that we have this Wisp currently mostly funning on the Wisps, mostly stacking camps up, and we've got Blow Your Brain building up the Chaos Knight to terrifying heights, and the Keeper of the Light, Goblak, he's actually only at level 1, so they are able to sort of zone them out a little bit with this aggressive tri-lane. Again, it's tough to tri-lane against an Undying, because if he lands this Q on your 3 heroes, it's just so much damage. Like, it's 60 damage just straight up because he's done the decay. But additionally, he steals 4 strength from every one of your heroes, so it's like he stole a lot. It's like he took a lot more of HP than he actually did. So far this aggressive tri-lane going okay. VP does also have this counter ward blocking this creep camp from further spawns, but they do end up pushing the lane up into Empire, so Empire gets some free farm here, able to catch up the CK a little bit, which is critical. The CK only has 5 last hits to Gyrocopter's 12. And so the great news for Empire right now is that Windrunner is dominating this bottom lane. He's going to hit his levels very, very quickly. Windrunner doesn't have a very consequential ultimate, so you don't need to be like, oh, at level 6 she's going to dominate, because she usually doesn't even take her ultimate at level 6. But this Clinkz is performing decently up in the middle. Actually, Scandal is roaming already. Rubik manages to steal the double damage. I wonder if they even knew that Scandal was there. The funny thing is they didn't, but they just barely managed to pick up the DD before Clinkz would have. So that's a big deny, actually. Clinkz with DD is quite scary just because he's already been doing a lot of harassment damage to this Batrider, and with a double damager, the harassment damage would just be extreme. Note that Clinkz doesn't have boots, though. So the Batrider is going to be looking to sort of get a lot of stacks onto him in terms of the sticky napalm, and then firebomb him back at the perfect moment to actually deal a lot of damage to him. Did he get boots? No, he actually builds out his Ring of Akala, so he fully builds the Akala for even more regen, a little bit of mana regen, a little bit of armor and damage. So great item for Clinkz, but he is vulnerable to a gank. If VP rotate, they could definitely pick this Clinkz off if they have detection for a Skeleton Walk. A little bit more hit trading up in here. So going back to the top, we've got Rubik. At this point, Rubik and Undying, I think, have noticed that Empire are doing a lot of alternative jungle pulling here. They're doing a lot of stacking on these creep camps, and so they want to sort of get these guys to roam, counter a few more spawns, and try to pick off the Wisp if they can. And it's actually not working out that great. So Empire doing an amazing job of counteracting this tri-lane with some tri-lane action of their own, in the sense that they're using Goblak, they're using Blow Your Brain, and they're using especially Funix Wisp to pull these packs, and pulling all the creep camps back behind this tower. So you can see that a second ago, Gyrocopter was substantially ahead of Blow Your Brain on this farm, but now Airman is, they were almost basically tied, so Blow Your Brain managed to get all that farm back. He's getting towards his level 4. Now the downside is they need to find levels for Funix here, and so the way he's getting them is he's pulling these creep camps and causing them to trade off with the easy camps of the jungle, because a Wispy is able to, as long as she's not taking hits, pick off these easy camps. He actually misses the last hit there. But as Funix is able to, this is actually a stroke of good fortune too, because this is the weakest set that you can have in the slot. He's going to be able to eventually do a pull here, and as the lane creeps are killing off the jungle creeps, he can pull this jungle camp into the other jungle camp. He's currently just going to triple stack this. So Wisp finding his levels, and that's critical. For a Wisp to get level 6 in an early fashion is fantastic for her, because actually he pops his spirits, so they might try to get a kill here. This is, whenever you see Funix popping spirits, it's like, oh, is he trying to kill? I think maybe he thought there was a gank coming for him. They're using the Keeper of the Light. Again, this is such a great pack, especially because, did they get a triple stack of these? I can't tell. But Keeper of the Light and Wisp are able to clear these out so quickly because they have low HP, so the Illuminate can do most of the damage to them. And Empire, thus, are able to make sure that Blow Your Brain gets quick levels, and make sure that VP get vastly lower levels than what their supports are getting. So they actually go in, the Chaos Knight Reality Rifts, a lot of damage going on Rubik already, and that Illuminate might be enough. Great save from that Undying to heal him right there. That heal was absolutely critical. And now they're chasing them back. Gyrocopter trying to get in there, but this is going to be a lot more speed for this Keeper of the Light and Wisp. They're able to get away, no problem. So nothing actually happening there. The Nature's Prophet teleports over to try to help out, and it's not quite enough. I don't think the Sprout really did what they needed it to do there. And so that's actually very bad for VP, because this Nature's Prophet is now doing almost nothing here. Where are the treants at? They are going to try to push this tower now that he's here, because, you know, this is the Windrunner left alone. This is the Windrunner that's going to get quite a bit of development, able to farm quite a bit. You can see that she has her phase boots, probably goes something like 4 staff afterwards, especially likely to get the 4 staff after you've already gotten the phase boots. And that Windrunner is going to be able to set up those shackle shots. It's only going to be able to do quite a lot. VP at this point, since they have 4 players here, are just going to look to push this tower. They're going to look to pressure this, make sure that Chaos Knight doesn't get any farm while the Nature's Prophet is here, and ideally get the tower as well. And that's going to go okay. Actually, this Keeper of the Light Illuminate might hit them a lot. Really good positioning from Keeper of the Light there. Good job by Goblak to hit that. The problem is he signaled his location, so he's stuck in the corner here. Does he actually have a TP? He might actually end up copying the first blood. Actually, this is going to be a huge Illuminate, and we've got to teleport over from the Windrunner. That Shackle on the Undying could be critical. If they pick up the Undying quickly, that's going to be huge for them. Well, he actually saves himself again with a heal. This Sprout is amazing. Look at that play from Nature's Prophet. Santa, again, MVP of his team. Amazing Sprout. They get 2 kills already. They lose the Nature's Prophet, but they might get another kill on this Keeper of the Light here. They still don't have the tower, though, and the tower provides a forbidding obstacle. Big stun, actually, makes sure that the Undying can't chase down the Chaos Knight. That was critical. But they do pick up the Keeper of the Light, which was sort of a foregone conclusion as soon as he signaled where he was. And this Tombstone still has a little bit of duration on it. It's probably going to spawn one more set? No, it doesn't. The Tombstone is despawned. And so that probably will not stun Funix. And so VP retreat, but having picked up a 3-to-1 advantage. So the Windrunner teleported over, so it was okay in the end that the Nature's Prophet teleported, because the Windrunner teleported over and died. The thing is, this Windrunner is still 51-23. That's an incredible record. But They tie up Empire for a bit. They're able to get 3 kills, including the first blood, and they only get 1 kill in return. So great job by VP there. Good poise. It was surprising to me that the Undying managed to live, but you can see this is, you don't always take that second rank of Soul Rip, but in this case, the second rank was critical for him to have enough healing to actually live through that team fight. And good job, obviously, by Santa on Nature's Prophet there. That was the Sprout that locked both Funnick and Windrunner in, was just really, really critical for them. Excuse me. Just taking a drink so my mouth doesn't completely dry out. So, meanwhile, Windrunner just continuing to get development, and actually, I missed a kill up here, but the Gyrocopter throws down his Duke, and he might actually get a double kill as well. So that's 4 kills for the Gyrocopter. This is a big problem if you're Empire, because once again, your Tri-Lane, your Wisp Chaos Knight is being completely stymied. The Gyrocopter actually amazing. Wow, the jukes from Funnick. Look at that high-level juking. Will they be able to get him anyway? They do have the Sprout, but they might have peeled a little too far. Gyrocopter's going to get a kill, but he's going to cop a kill from Scandal. And this is Empire's backup plan. Even if the Chaos Knight Wisp don't have the greatest start, this Clinks is going to become very, very scary. They actually pop the Tombstone, so Virtus.pro want to keep fighting. This is a huge shackle from, sorry, a huge leash onto Scandal from the Batrider. Scandal taking a lot of damage. He is dusted up, but a huge damage from this Windrunner coming out. Will they kill the Clinks? If they don't, this was a complete waste of time. They do kill the Clinks. Undying might cop a kill. Nature's Prophet might cop a death as well. The power shot from Windrunner actually misses, so Nature's Prophet's still alive, but they're going to lose the Batrider as well. Big flame break, but he's going to take just too much damage, and that's actually a very bad outcome to this fight from Virtus.pro. They trade 4 kills for 4 kills, but, and this is critical, they get Chaos Knight that last kill there. The Wisp manages to stay in for long enough to get some levels. He's halfway to level 6, and the Chaos Knight is almost at level 8. Meanwhile, they do lose Clinks, but the Windrunner gets a little more stuff for herself. She's actually well on the way to her mechanism, and so when Empire get the mechanism, they're going to be way ahead of the timing for VP's mechanism. Has VP even started their mechanism? No, they haven't. So the time in which Empire has mechanism and VP doesn't is going to be a time in which Empire are vastly favored to win the fights. Now, VP are continuing to go pure Russian Dota and just aggressively pressuring all of the map. So they do kill off Keeper of the Light there. They use the the Gyrocopter ultimate to do so. They are going to pick up the tower off the back of this. But again, right now, this Clinks is getting decent development. He's able to just go back in mid, get some farm. You can see that he's about 40% of the way to his Orchid Malevolence. So that'll be a very strong option. Again, against the Keeper of the Light, though, us against Nature's Prophet will be especially good to have that Orchid Malevolence. And meanwhile, Wisp and Chaos Knight were peeled. Actually, Funnick in a lot of trouble here. Okay, he does manage to pick it off. He does manage to kill off the entire pack of people, but Funnick got pretty low HP. However, he's at level 6. So Empire have hit their target for Relocate. 11 minutes, not the greatest, not that bad either. And the Chaos Knight, we'll see, Blurry Brain he's not a level 8 yet, but he does have his power treads. He's working towards his drums. And so VP, they are playing aggressive early, but is it enough to be aggressive early? Do they need to be either even more aggressive or even more passive? Once this Windrunner has mechanism, they will have both teamfight capacity and gank capacity. And actually, they're going to lose this courier, which could be substantial if Scandal decides to go on it. He decides not to. There's too many people around. He's going to wait until the courier is alone, and we're going to see Scandal murder this courier for another 1,000 gold purse. Excellent play here. Finding the courier, killing it. It doesn't manage to escape. That's a lot of gold, and that's complete inability of Virtus.pro to actually be able to receive items from their courier during that entire time. And Windrunner, meanwhile, pressuring this bottom tower, so he will probably be able to actually get this tower down in the time that it takes Virtus.pro to take this. They do get it quickly, so they do have a competent push composition because they it's scary to go up into a team fight against them for now. And it's they do have this Nature's Prophet to push down towers pretty quickly. So VP doing well in that respect. But a Relocate coming down on this Batrider. Excellent Flame Break. This Flame Break timing was perfect. Such good play from TMW here. You can see that as soon as Wisp and Chaos Knight came on him, he Flame Breaked at the exact right time. And that's, oh, Windrunner manages to perfectly power shot to get herself away. So Empire forced to retreat from that. They thought they had the kill there, and they really, really didn't because the Batrider managed to Firefly and Flame Break in the exact right timing. Scandal looking around for a kill opportunity, and he just doesn't have one right now. This Windrunner actually cops quite a bit of damage. She's got 4 stacks of napalm on her. But Nature's Prophet might get picked off. He's at low mana. He does have his Midas. But a big Gyrocopter nuke. Both hits will come out. The Windrunner is actually pushed out of it, but she still dies. A double kill for the Batrider, and they lose Scandal as well. And they lose the Chaos Knight. When he comes in, Scandal will die as well. And oh my god, Empire being picked apart again. They thought that they were safe to use their early game domination strategy, and instead they're getting the domination turned right around on them. I thought that they went into this with about a 60-40 chance in a vacuum, and I was almost surprised that they went back to the Wisp strat after it backfired so spectacularly in the first game. And now the question is, do VP have their number? Are Virtus.pro actually going to be able to push through this? Because the crazy thing is, this Nature's Prophet, this gutsy Nature's Prophet pick, the flip side of it is, if you don't lose the early game, if you don't have this Clinkz beating down your front door because he's finished his Orchid Malevolence, if you don't have the Chaos Knight Wisp getting successful ganks, they're going to lose all their towers. The Nature's Prophet is such a good pusher, good keeper that let Illuminate. They're dealing a lot of damage to Virtus Pro. They're trying to be aggressive. I don't know if this is over-aggression. All of their heroes are so low. A 3-second stun on Gyrocopter, and I think Virtus Pro are going to have to turn around. I think that Lasso on the Wisp was a little overly optimistic. Now, they don't end up losing any heroes for it, and it was fine as a risk-reward type situation. But again, the shoe is on the opposite foot from where I thought it would be. Virtus Pro are once again putting Empire on the ropes, and Empire, I think, are feeling a little bit desperate. They do have the mechanism on this Windrunner, so this is critical. She just finished her mechanism. This will give Empire an enormous amount of extra survivability in any fight that the Windrunner is involved in. I think if you're Empire right now, you have to say we're probably not going to get as many Wisp ganks as we thought we would going into this. But what we do have is a team fight where we deal a lot more damage than them right now. Scandal does huge damage on Clinkz. Chaos Knight can do very, very respectable damage as well. So we just want to sort of get into these team fights, make sure that the Keeper of the Light Illuminate lands on everybody, and just use their Windrunner to eke out the victory, because we'll get those good stuns, we'll get the power shots, and we'll have this mechanism. This mechanism is the big hope for Empire right now. The fact that they have it is tremendously important. And let's keep in mind, Empire, the Windrunner is the most farm person on the map, and they did get that courier kill, so that's additional gold for them. If we actually look at the gold equity, actually Virtus Pro with those last couple fights seizing a huge advantage, but it'd be even bigger were it not for that courier. How about XP? XP, it's a little closer. Empire actually had a substantial lead, which makes sense. The aggressive trialing versus the safe jungle farming, as well as the the Clinkz being able, the Windrunner getting better development than the Nature's Prophet. But with that huge team fight win and that series of wins that Virtus Pro were able to secure along with the towers, they do seize ahead in the XP by just a little bit of a margin. Empire are by no means out of this game yet. They could still win with a number of strategies. They could get really big on the Clinkz and just pick off MVP in that respect. They could just go full speed ahead and try to get the kills with the Chaos Knight. The Windrunner, will she get this tower kill? Actually, they may have to deny this, otherwise they're illusions. It would be embarrassing for VP if Windrunner gets the kill with just her illusions. She does. That was dumb. But they do lose the Windrunner for it. So the Windrunner dies, but they do get a kill. Empire could easily, Virtus Pro could easily have denied this tower. That was a little dumb. The Rubik could have stayed behind to deny it while the rest of the team killed the Windrunner. So they do pick up a kill, but Empire pick up a tower. So a little bit more map control. Again, losing this tier 1 tower for VP means that Empire have just that little bit of foothold here. Now the nice thing for VP is that they are taking down the towers here. These 2 towers for Dire are also very important because they provide a great staging ground for Roshan. You typically lose your tier 1 tower pretty quickly, but these 2 towers have such an easier way to access Roshan than the tier 1 bottom tower or the tier 2 bottom tower for Radiant, that it gives Dire a substantial advantage to actually get to this Roshan. So in that respect, Empire have lost that advantage as soon as they lose this tower, which they will do so very quickly. Because Virtus Pro, again, are knocking down to Empire's towers in a very methodical fashion. Godblack, again, with these good Illuminates, trying to counter-push as much as possible. Virtus Pro do a good job of avoiding that entirely down Illuminate. And Rubik has stolen it, so it's coming back out on top of them. Clinkz, meanwhile, Scandal just continuing to try to get that Orchid. He really, really needs it. He really needs that Orchid. If he falls any farther behind in terms of getting that Orchid relative to the timing that he wants, it's going to be very tough for Empire. Now, keep in mind, Scandal's farm is great. He has 85. That mid worked out. But this is a huge lasso on Chaos Knight. Will they take him to the high ground? The haste on the Bat Rider was enough for them to get the Chaos Knight all the way from over here to over here. And that's enormous. Blow Your Brain is being completely shut down. He's not anywhere near his armlet. He's still stuck at level 8. So their hope at this point is they've got good development on Scandal. He has his Orchid Malevolence. This is critical. It's going to be great against the Nature's Prophet or against the Rubik. And they've got pretty good farm on the Windrunner. She's on the way to her 4th staff. She already has her mechanism. But now it looks like VP's mechanism is done as well. Who is it actually on? Where's their mechanism? They used Nature's Prophet. So this is smart. They used the Hand of Midas to get the extra farm that they wanted to actually get up to that to get that mechanism. And sometimes you see Nature's Prophets going very greedy. They'll go stuff like Fast Sheepstick or Fast Desolator or something. But in this case, VP do the exact right thing. They know that the Windrunner is going to get an early mechanism, so they get an early mechanism as fast as they can. And the Clinkz not having quite enough damage to kill Santa. He thought he did with the Orchid tick he would kill him, but it only took him to 85 HP. And actually, VP spending a lot of resources to kill off Scandal, and it's successful. He does not have buyback. Virtus Pro are really, really getting a huge advantage against Empire here. Empire are completely unable to get these ganks. I'm shocked that they weren't able to kill the Nature's Prophet with the Clinkz there, but they weren't. He was able to live and get away on very low HP, mind you, but that doesn't matter. I mean, you either get away or you don't really, and Scandal doesn't get away from his gank attempt. Keep in mind, this Midas is going to give him substantial advantage towards building out this Nature's Prophet. He has his mechanism now, and now he can get items that really contribute to his team's success. in addition, like, it can contribute to his own success, I should say. Mechanism is the ideal thing to get on this sort of support Nature's Prophet just to give your team success, but then you can get items that make the Nature's Prophet a force in his own right. And so Empire really have to figure out a strategy. They do have this sort of jungle under more or less control. They currently have the only ward here. They're getting some farm on the Windrunner. They're going to be seeking to get that Force Staff as quickly as possible on her just to give that positioning. Any fight in which the Windrunner lands a really good shackle on 2 heroes is a fight that Empire are going to feel fairly comfortable fighting in. But any fight in which she doesn't, or worse, a fight in which she starts out the fight lassoed and destroyed, is a fight in which Empire are just going to lose. Because especially if that Windrunner dies before she can pop the mechanism, or if she's forced to pop the mechanism suboptimally, they're going to be in a world of trouble because this Chaos Knight is still flimsy. This Wisp is still flimsy. Empire just seeking to get Roshans. They know that they're going to get pushed in. They know that they can't fight a 5-on-5, and they're doing the smart thing. They're doing the high-level thing. They're responding by farming out a Roshan, but they don't have damage. They don't have armor reduction. Their lack of armor reduction means it takes forever to them to kill this Roshan. And meanwhile, Virtus Pro are knocking down their front door. They do get the Roshan. They're going to put it on Clinks. That's smart. Don't put it on Chaos Knight. Chaos Knight is not that useful right now. Illuminate goes out, so Virtus Pro may be forced to call off this push, actually. This Batrider taking a lot of damage. Note just how well this Batrider did. 76 last hits, 3 and 1, and he has his Blink Dagger and Boots and Gem. So the Batrider, again, Batrider is just, he's an insanely good hero. He just is so good, and once he has that blink, he's able to initiate on you just at whatever the case may be. You can just get on, take out one of your heroes, and just make sure that the fight starts out with you disadvantaged. But the fact that Virtus Pro are playing that 5-man dodo, they're doing that rotation to make sure that Chaos Knight Wisp can't get on them because they're all together, does mean that Empire are continuing to hold a farm advantage. The Windrunner is finding farm wherever she wants. She has her Force Staff completely done, and Scandal is finding farm. He now has an Orchid and Aegis, and he's almost done with his Power Treads. So Scandal is going to become a force in this game sooner or later. He is flimsy, he can still be taken out, but he's quite strong in terms of the damage he deals already. And so Virtus Pro are going to have to be careful that they don't just get eclipsed by the fact that this Clinks and this Windrunner find farm somewhere and actually become forces in the game. They do have the advantage that at this point they've seized a commanding amount of map control. They are starting to plant wards up on the enemy territory so they can sort of see where the enemy is in the jungle. They do have the gem on the Batrider, so he will know if the Clinks is trying to escape. But it's hard when you don't have the Keeper of the Light. It's hard to push into a Keeper of the Light. You have your little treants here, but they don't have enough HP sometimes to just, they have 550 hit points. The Keeper of the Light Illuminate at max rank deals 500 damage, so, you know, it almost takes on the treants just by themselves, and so it becomes difficult to push into this Keeper of the Light. It becomes a very strong turtle hero, and it's great for Empire to turtle now, because again, if they turtle and they have one person farming, that one person becomes the hope for them in that game. So Scandal, even though he's 0-3, he's about to get his 100th last hit. He's really building up that net worth. It's still not up to where Gyrocopter and Nature's Prophet are, but it will start building up. He will start becoming a force. And I think VP realized that they really need to either shit or get off the pot in some respects. They need to get a push in here, or sort of just wait for Empire's farm to get respectful. Oh no, Gyrocopter almost housed it. He does pop the BKB, so they're going to go in. This nuke will hit nobody, so this nuke is completely unsuccessful, other than denying an area. The Tombstone is out, wait in front, and the Batrider just sort of traps the Keeper of the Light, but he's silenced by Clinks. Actually, incredible play by Clinks there to silence him. The Gyrocopter damage is going up, but his BKB is down. Santa, meanwhile, picks up a killing spree. Actually, they lose the Gyrocopter, and Scandal hasn't even popped his Aegis yet, so Virtus Pro are going to get peeled apart here substantially. 3 deaths already, possibly more to come. Santa, does he not have the mana to actually get out? He does now that he switched the Power Treads. So Virtus Pro, they should not have taken that fight, I feel like. That's a huge open door for Empire right there. They kill off almost all of their heroes. They kill off the Gyrocopter, they delay everybody's farm just that bit, and Clinks still has Aegis. He didn't even lose Aegis there. That's a fantastic fight for Empire, and again, it's that poise, it's that composure of the very, very high-level teams that allows them to sort of be way behind and still, you know, get back into it. Like I said, Empire are by no means out of this game. This Clinks is now at 1,000 gold. Keep in mind, this Clinks is a substantial threat now. Like, he is a for real threat. Now, VP did bring this tower extremely low. They're going to be trying to do some Nature's Prophet split pushing when they get a chance. But again, this is a fight in which Nature's Prophet, this is a game in which Nature's Prophet split pushing is incredibly dangerous because you can just get Clinked on, you can just get Chaos Knight Wisped on. And so Empire need to fear the Nature's Prophet push much, much, much less than they would with a standard composition. They're continuing to sort of hunt the Clinks here. Keep in mind, they lost their gem in that fight too because they lost Batrider. Well, he either bought a gem or they managed to pick it up again. Nature's Prophet, actually, Virtus Pro playing so aggressively. Windrunner just responds with the instant Force Staff to get out of that Nature's Prophet sprout. He sprouted himself in with Windrunner, which I won't get into the sexual politics of what he did, but it's certainly something. So Virtus Pro continuing to be very aggressive. I think they sort of realized that Scandal's getting great farm. I mean, he's at this point getting quite big. He's still has his Aegis. He still has it for about 2 more minutes. So this is a fight that I hope this goes better for Virtus Pro than the last one did, because otherwise Empire are all the way back into this game. Right now they're still about 5k behind, but this Clinkz is getting developed, and even if the Chaos Knight Wisp are not that much of a factor just straight up, they will become a factor eventually. The Chaos Knight has his armlet. Even if they can't teleport, not a good shackle from Windrunner there, and she's in a lot of trouble now. This might be the fight that VP were looking for, just in terms of killing the Windrunner early. She lives, the Windrunner's alive, but Clinkz gets taken down, he loses the Aegis. The Keeper of the Light actually gets taken down, but the Windrunner is still alive. That's critical for Empire. Scandal, however, goes down after his Aegis. He's forced to use his gold to buy back. Blow Your Brain taking a lot of damage, and they are going to get raxed. This isn't the end of the game yet, but 2 shackles, that was critical. The Undying runs in, he immediately gets Orchided. That Undying is going to die. That was a complete waste of that Undying. They actually don't rax them. They aren't able to rax. They turn it around. Blow Your Brain is taking a little bit too much damage. He can't actually stay in here. The Gyrocopter 4-second stun, though. The Clinkz's Scandal has incredible damage, but he has to be careful about his life as well. Windrunner, quite tanky at this point. She has pretty great farm, and so VP forced to peel back once again. The Funnick doing an incredibly ballsy thing there, jumping in, but he just dies for his trouble. That wasn't worth it at all in any way, shape, or form. So they're forced to buy back on Scandal, sort of delaying his farm. Blow Your Brain still incredibly low, just using those armlet toggles to stay alive. And so VP gets the better of that fight, but not quite the racks, not quite yet. The losing that Undying was really key for them there, because, you know, he wasn't able to keep throwing out those decays. He wasn't able to heal his comrades with Soul Rip. And so VP, they do well, but again, they don't get the Rax. It's at about 3rd health. You can see Raxes actually regenerate pretty quickly. By the time the next fight comes around, this Rax might be back up to about 2/3 health or so. So VP going to seek to keep pushing. This Nature's Prophet just feels just safe enough that he can actually, but you can see, not that safe. He's only going to summon the Treants, push it in, and then get the hell out, because at any point, Clinkz and Wisp could be knocking on his door. And we'll probably just see him Midas a creep or something. Make sure that he keeps... I'll be interested to see what he makes next. I think what we're going to see from Nature's Prophet next is almost certainly the Scythe of Vice. He does Midas. So we're going to see this Nature's Prophet pick up that Scythe of Vice and look to lock the Clinkz down. All of Empire's damage right now is coming out from this Clinkz. The Chaos Knight is nowhere near the point he needs to be at, just because even when he does get his damage in, he's so not tanky right now that he's just not quite there in terms of being able to pose a consistent threat. So their damage is going to be Clinkz, and he's going to have better survivability than the Chaos Knight as long as his Death Pact is up. So VP really, really want lockdown options for a Windrunner. So they really want to lasso Windrunner. You can see she's building her towards her Scythe of Vice as well. They want to lasso Windrunner down if they can, and they want to make sure that the Clinkz is somehow locked down. And I think their solution to that is going to be lasso Windrunner and sheep Clinkz. And they're going to sheep Clinkz by doing it with the Nature's Prophet. So you can see that he's already... him and Windrunner are, I think, about equally far away. So Windrunner is closer to her Sheepstick, but Nature's Prophet has a Midas that makes sure that it goes Sheepstick faster. And Virtus Pro knocking down the door again. The Gyrocopter manages to stuff the Blow Your Brain stun, and he's doing a lot of damage. They might lose this Windrunner very early. She is forced to use her mechanism a little bit early, and a lot of damage going out on Empire. But Clinkz in the back doing a lot of damage to Rubik, but the Soul Rip is enough to keep him alive at another 4-step, and Scandal's going to get taken down again. He does not have buyback. Again, Scandal doesn't have buyback. They lose the Undying again, and so they're forced to call off the push again. Blow Your Brain, however, this was suicidal. This is Russian Dota, just suiciding right in there. Thought he could get the kill, but he couldn't. He's forced to buy back. And meanwhile, TMW is just wreaking havoc in their base with his Batrider. Will they get the Rax? Just get the Rax, guys. They do. And so a Rax goes down. Wisp goes down. Blow Your Brain buys back, but into nothing. There is nothing for him here. Virtus Pro will clear out this set of Raxes, and this gives them a commanding lead in this game. They are trading Undying for 3 or 4 heroes at a time, and this Gyrocopter is becoming formidable. He actually already picked up his Demon Edge, which I wanted to comment on. This can go into either an MKB or a Rapier. Both, I think, would almost be the final straw for Empire, just in terms of they're going to lose these flimsy heroes so quickly with his Gyrocopter damage, even with just the Demon Edge. He's level 14, he's dealing 200 damage a pop. Even Chaos Knight only has 1400 health at this point. What can Empire actually do to stop this? I'm not sure they can. I think we might see Empire... Alright, the shackle misses again. It was almost a great shackle. If it had managed to hit a hero, that would have been critical for them. Empire need to make sure Virtus Pro don't get the second set of Raxes, but this melee is already so low. It took them so long to respawn. And a shackle actually, lasso going out on not the right hero, Keeper of the Light, but oh my god, so much damage thrown out from this Gyrocopter. When he has BKB up, he does an insane amount of damage. He's clearing out their entire team. He kills off Chaos Knight and Clinkz with the help of this Batrider. And Empire are forced to GG out. I don't think many people expected this at all. Empire came in with the odds-on favorite to win this series, But instead, they run their patented Empire approach twice, and they get beaten down twice. The only game Empire won was the game they didn't play like Empire. And is this a sign that teams are starting to figure out this Empire style of play and being able to counter it? Is this a sign that Empire, to really become that tier 1 dominant European team, they have to sort of vary up their strategies a little bit? It's because it seems like this Wisp is almost being muscled out. It really seems like Virtus.pro just completely solved the riddle of the Wisp in both of those games. And we've seen Virtus.pro, we've seen this team lose to Empire's Wisp time and time again. But today they came in with so much poise. They came in with strategies. They came in with an approach that Empire had absolutely no answer to. And so VP takes the series 2-1, and I don't know, these defense playoffs are off to a pretty amazing start. That's going to be the last game I'm going to cast today. I don't actually think there are any other games scheduled this evening. We probably will resume this weekend by taking a look at a couple more games, either in the defense playoffs or the other games that are going on. I know I did get a few new viewers today, so thanks for watching. Welcome to the broadcast. I hope you'll check out more of what we do. I'm going to be starting doing some regular tournaments starting next week, hopefully. So that'll be more stuff that sort of I'll be casting sort of solo, and it'll be fun. All right, so very, very interesting series. I definitely came in expecting VP to put up a good fight, but Empire to sort of show why they're the dominant team. And instead we got something very different, which is we got a sort of masterclass in how you play against Wisp. How do you play against the best Wisp team in the world? And I think Virtus.pro showed us. You go with a team that has some push potential, that has really good team fight potential, you clump up as 5, and you push through. You understand that as long as the Chaos Knight Wisp are underdeveloped, they pose no threat to your push. You will sooner or later win out in these team fights, even if the other team has a couple highly developed heroes. And they were right. Their thesis was exactly correct, as they showed in the beginning game and the ending game. In the middle game, we saw the fights slow way down and Empire sort of ground out a victory, showing us that Empire does have depth. They do have depth. They're a very strong team. They have a lot of talent, and they're able to do a lot of different strategies. Now, the question is, I know they have the talent, but are they over-reliant on strategy number 1? Were they wrong to actually just try the Wisp strategy again in Game 3? And as we see Empire go further in this tournament, are we going to see them run that Wisp as often as they have been in the past? Or are we going to see more games like the one we saw in Game 2 where Blow Your Brain just seeks to outcarry the opposing team? An interesting question to pose, and it'll definitely be interesting to watch the remainder of the defense playoffs, which are already off to, in my opinion, a pretty great start. Thanks for watching.